Hello,
Hello
welcome
guys.
to the WDSportz podcast with Sam and Ahmed.
Yeah, still working title, but we'll just
Yeah.
call it that for now. But yeah, this is just a podcast where we just talk about football, anything we find interesting.
Any relevant topics in the football world, basically.
And hopefully, as the weeks go on, we get guests on and stuff like that. Just talk about everything to do with football that we found interesting. And obviously, Sam, I'm a happy man today.
I bet you are.
I'm a very, very
I
happy
bet you
man.
are.
As a lot of people know.
It's a great win for you.
From my 10 views I get on the On The Spot videos, I'm a massive Man United fan, so winning 9-0 against Southampton was amazing to see. Obviously, I said before the game would be 0-0. I said it was going to be very lacklustre. I thought we weren't going to score. I thought we wouldn't even get a shot on target, and Southampton can't score from open play anyway, so I thought it was going to be a stalemate. But it just goes to show how much a red card changes that game.
Yeah.
And what's his name again? The kid who got red carded?
Jankovic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a definite red card.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
You have to wonder what is going through your head when you do that.
I wonder where he learned that technique for tackling.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's Swiss, so he came through, I think it was
Basel's academy.
Some Swiss academy, and Southampton signed him. But where's he learned? It's his professional debut in the Premier League. He's started this game, and 79 seconds in, he's gone, basically halfway up the five. Scotland's on it.
I thought maybe he got mixed up with his karate training or something.
It really confused me when I first saw it. I was like, oh, he's red carded.
Yeah.
Like,
but of course, he did that. Well, there's speculation, and it'd be interesting to see if this is true. Obviously, he handed his transfer request to Southampton. Southampton said, no, you're staying here, you're going to be a Saints player. And then he just went, I want to take matters into my own hand. And got maybe, because it's very weird, that tackle. It's not like it's not like Scott McTominay is anywhere near like the goal or anything like that. It's just come out of the blue. He's absolutely whacked him one, and it's like the first minute or something.
And it was in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a goal-scoring chance.
Yeah.
There was no chance there.
Yeah.
And he stays on the pitch. You don't win that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And exactly. And he didn't look to me that phased by it. He didn't look like I just totally like messed up on my debut. No. Oh my gosh! Like he was just like, oh, early shower, going home.
And then the second red card, which
wasn't a red.
Wasn't a red. I don't even think it was a penalty.
Benderek, the B team might kind of call up saying even Martial said it's nothing in there.
No.
I think that's VAR again getting a bit overly sensitive on stuff like that. And like the start of the man, obviously, the ref went to the monitor, he checked it and everything, and then of course he thought he saw what he saw, and again as a Man United fan,
I don't see much contact there.
No, it's not. It's very soft.
Yeah, basically.
Because
it's a soft pen. I can see why it's given as a pen, but then once you've consulted VAR, is it still a penalty? Yeah. That's the problem.
I mean, when you see stuff like that happen, you think maybe VAR's being just a bit too overused in scenarios like that, and then obviously my friend, who's a Man United fan, he said a good point to me. It kind of took away from how well we played, because everything came about this VAR scenario and how VAR. Because again, VAR did help us keep a clean sheet as well. Because Che Adams' goal, I mean, he's onside. I mean, how can you put that as offside?
Yeah,
it's
miles onside. Yeah.
And then you see that happen. It's just a shame, really. But I'm not.
But this is a Southampton team that beat Liverpool a couple of weeks back.
I know.
No one's going to remember that because there was 2 red cards and you beat them 9-0. Yeah. But you beating them 9-0 still the same Southampton team, pretty much without any changes, that beat Liverpool 1-0 a couple of weeks ago. It's a really, really impressive result.
It is really impressive, especially like I love Hassan Rule. I think he's probably one of the best managers in the Prem, and I do feel for him because obviously he's like a captain of a sinking ship at this point with no funding, because
he's had very little funding. I was very surprised to see them sign anybody in January.
I won't be surprised if he has to go to under-17s training and goes, hey lads, anyone who's going to play on the weekend, because obviously he's just running out of players left, right and centre.
They've only got 12 senior players for the next game available.
Crazy. That's absolutely
crazy. That is crazy in the Premier League.
Yeah, and obviously with other stuff coming in, they'll have to do, and obviously we live in this time now of uncertainty with COVID, lockdown. It might benefit them, if obviously with that, but it'll kill us if one player gets COVID. That's him gone for 2 weeks. So it's very harsh, it's very unfair on him, but he's got to do what the best, and maybe that'll show how a good manager is.
Luckily, they had quite a good 2020. All things considered, they've got 29 points, I think. And they should be all right, because some of the quality at the bottom of the Premier League table,
Oh,
which is another match I want to talk about.
gosh, yeah,
It's absolutely awful.
It's awful. It's sometimes you forget you're watching a Premier League game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you're watching like an Indonesian Premier League game because you see Sheffield United and West Brom, and it was very scrappy. It was very poor. It was very Sunday League-esque. It reminded me of something we put on WDSportz. No offense to the teams we cover, but it wasn't a Premier League game. It was really bad. It felt disjointed. It felt weird. You know.
It was a weird game to watch. Like it doesn't feel like there's any Premier League quality in either side.
No.
Matty Pereira is probably West Brom's best player. Let's be real.
But Sheffield's best player.
He did nothing. Sheffield's best player is David McGoldrick.
I know.
Which is.
He scored against. Did he score against United? Didn't he?
He did, but he's not. He's a bit old. He's got lovely feet.
Yeah.
But he's not really a Premier League player.
No, he's not. I mean. There's thing thrown around. I'm sure you've heard of it, second season syndrome.
Yeah.
Where a club does really well in their first season. We saw it with Huddersfield a lot, where Huddersfield over-exceeded everyone. You know, I think they finished.
Yeah, when Huddersfield surprised us.
Yeah, by not going down, but obviously then the next season they were just everyone's whipping boys.
Yeah.
No offense to Huddersfield fans, I know one.
I know a couple.
Yeah. So to that extent that happens, and again it comes back to the issue of lack of funding, lack of that. The manager not being able to play the type of football he wants because of the players he has. Yeah. Sheffield, for me, have played the weirdest football I've ever seen in my life.
The thing is, I think the fans are so important for that Sheffield United team. They don't look like they can't play football. That's the problem. Chris Wilder's a good manager, and they have good tactics, and he knows what he's doing with the players he buys. But they haven't strengthened in January, which I think they really needed to.
They definitely.
Really needed a striker. They can't score goals. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Every game they play is tight.
Yeah.
Like they win 1-0, they lose 1-0, they lose 2-1, whatever. But they needed the goal scorer in January, and maybe because Jack O'Connell's been out all season pretty much. They needed a centre back who was of the same quality as Jack O'Connell. Because right now, Ethan Ampadu is playing instead of Jack O'Connell pretty much, and he's all right, but he's still a very young player.
Prospect. Yeah, and it happens like that, and I think Sheffield, for me, I genuinely think they might survive now after being.
I think if there's going to be a great escape, it'll be them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with West Brom, I think again it comes back to this thing again, which we'll talk about as well, where they just sack managers. They just panic and hit the panic button. Owners hit the panic button as hard as they can, and the manager's gone. He's gone. And then obviously we see this roulette of managers coming in. I'm talking Tony Pulis, the Alan Pardews, and of course the big boy himself, Big Sam, playing back in West Brom.
Yes.
And his football, for me personally, just simply doesn't work at West Brom. Mainly because Bilic wanted to play something different, wanted to have a bit more
Bilic seemed like he knew what he was doing with that squad. He built a squad that he liked. He'd had a year. Maybe it was a bit too early to come up to the Premier League last year, but he'd still had a squad that he liked. And he knew all the players. He signed Matty Pereira obviously on permanent this summer, and it looked like he's preparing this squad for a Premier League survival battle, but still they looked all right. And then they sacked him 4 months into the season. It's like is that the best idea there?
No,
really?
Because then I feel like history repeats itself sometimes. You see that all the time with bottom Premier League clubs who come in and they don't really for example, the one outlier in recent history is Bournemouth. Bournemouth stuck with Eddie Howe even through thick and thin, but obviously then again it became a bit of a stalemate where it was soon enough he was going to go down. It wasn't like he was going to stay up and fight for anything, because again it comes back to that conundrum. If these clubs get Europa League football, they'll be screwed because they don't have the funds for it, they don't have the squad for it, and they don't want it. So they have to aim for mid-table almost, aim for 40 points and you'll be fine every season. 40 points.
I feel like that might be Sheffield United's issue.
Yeah.
Because they came up from League One so quickly. They spent 2 years in the Championship? So they've come up from League One with a League One standard training ground. It was a surprise when they got promoted from League One. They weren't favourites by any stretch of the imagination. So they've got League One training ground, League One facilities, League One players basically. Lots of their, not first team, but lots of their bench players are League One standard. So when they were overperformed last year, which they did, expected goals say they overperformed, expected goals conceded say they overperformed, everything says they overperformed. And then they lost Dean Henderson, who is a great keeper. He plays for Man United.
Yeah, of course.
He's not had a great season, but he's been alright when he's
Yeah,
and he's going to succeed down there.
With goalkeepers, I think if you don't play regularly, it's hard to get a consistent form going. Because when you're a secondary goalkeeper, it's League Cup matches, FA Cup, and like Stoke away. Really, that's the games you play. Yeah. You don't really play any of the big games or consistent games week in, week out that, you know, you can get your form going. Because De Gea's made some mistakes this season. He's not perfect. You know, no goalkeeper is, but at least he gets that next week to go back. And I'm sure as a goalkeeper mentally it plays with your head like, damn it, I'm going to have to wait another 3 weeks, not even that maybe, to play again. You know, it's just one of them ones. But, you know, when you talk about Sheffield, again, you got to talk about the rivals West Brom, who now, for relegation, look like they're going to go down. It's one of those things. And obviously West Brom came off from a big win, I think beating Wolves. No.
Yeah, they beat West Brom beat Wolves. 3-2.
So you think that would
They look like
they
could
look
attack.
good. They look good. And I thought I'd give them the confidence, but I don't think they'll do anything.
They can't seem to get that string of results together.
Who's also at the bottom? Is it Fulham as well?
Fulham are down there, Brighton are down there, which is a surprise to be fair, because Brighton have come off that win against Tottenham. So Brighton could string a couple of results together and get themselves out of it.
I mean, this season, what you're seeing a lot of, compared to what we've seen in the past, is 3 points are making a huge difference. A huge difference.
Someone could survive quite easily on goal difference this year.
Yeah, it's mental. It's absolutely crazy to see. Maybe it's this post-COVID world we're living in. I don't know. No. But clubs are managing that 3 points. They're celebrating like they've won silverware. Like that Sheffield win, Ramsdale was running around because he made that great save. I think he was offside.
Oh, it was a wonderful save.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
matter
like
if he's offside.
that felt for him. He probably thought he was playing
absolutely
the World Cup
incredible save.
It was amazing, and then obviously for that to come off that and to be one of your, like I say, relegation rivals, it's a massive difference. I think it's going to be a huge thing. And obviously the other game that happened last night as well, because I thought they'll get involved in it, is Wolves.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought if Wolves lost that, then they're slowly falling into
Wolves
it.
and Newcastle both could, because neither of them can really consistently score.
No.
That's the problem. That seems to be the issue this year. No one's got that striker who can consistently score. Wolves, with Raul Jimenez, look twice the team they are.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're a Sunderland fan.
Oh, don't. We won last night against MK Dons, which I'm quite happy about, but it is only the Papa John's trophy.
It's still something.
Yeah.
But when obviously you were in the Prem, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong by saying this, Jermaine Defoe
kept us up.
Absolutely amazing for you. Keeping someone like Jermaine Defoe in and having a player of that stature who can just score you the goals is what
we kept him fit, and we built our team around him, and he did save us that season.
And it links back to what you said about Sheffield, because Sheffield don't really have a solid striker. It's just who can play there this week. Okay, you go.
Billy Sharp and Ollie Burke.
Yeah.
Ollie McBurney. Yeah. Ollie McBurney, with the right system, he could be a good striker. Billy Sharp is a finisher. Yeah. Anywhere outside the 6-yard box, he's not scoring a goal.
No, he's not.
And Ollie Burke is just... He surprised me, because I remember seeing him when he broke through at Forest, was it?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. And he went to Red Bull Leipzig, Ollie Burke, and I saw him when he broke through at Forest. He was tall, fast, Scottish. Everyone was like, oh, he's Scottish Messi or whatever. Yeah. Which I hate Messi comparisons. But
that's just like
everyone gets compared to Messi, but that's But I saw him, and now when he's come back, he looks like, I don't want to say it, but he's very, very strong. He runs very similar to how Cristiano Ronaldo plays.
No,
but
talking about Messi comparisons. Someone CR7 now.
Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously 100 times better than Ollie Burke. Ollie Burke is fast and strong, and he runs very similar. He plays a sort of similar role to what Ronaldo plays, dropping off the right, dropping off the left, sort of playing and then driving towards the centre. Yeah. But it's just, does that work for a team like Sheffield United?
I don't know, because when Sheffield came up, I remember sitting there and it felt like, do you know on FIFA when you do L1 and Xbox? LP on if you play that less superior Xbox, but and then your player just absolutely runs forward. It was like that. It was a pass route, and I was like, "Whoa, this is interesting." But then I remember thinking, once teams play them twice, they'll figure out, okay, here's how we play them, and then you're found out completely in the Prem. It's happened quite a lot. It happened to I know this is ages ago, but Michael Laudrup's Swansea when they were playing, they were a great team. However, the next season afterwards, people realise, look, these guys play a certain system.
They play a certain system where you can combat that.
And again, their star striker, the best wonder, I'm doing a celebration right now. The best one season wonder I have seen in my life.
Oh, he was a brilliant player.
He was an amazing player, but when he completely fell off, and that's when you fall. As a team of that level, whether you're a Sheffield, a West Brom, a Fulham, you need a solid striker, and you desperately, and all three of them I just named, I think they all need one really.
Pretty much.
Fulham, Mitrovic retires.
Fulham don't play with a striker at the moment. They're playing a false nine and Loftus-Cheek,
It kind of works. It kind of does.
Is it going to keep you up?
No, it's not going to keep you up.
What, a mid-table central midfielder playing as your false nine?
Every girl in the country fancies. So, you know, when you see that happen and you think, that's not really working, it's not great. I mean, you know, I look at Fulham, and for me, Mitrovic always does so well in the Championship.
Yeah,
and then he comes
to
the Prem.
That limbo, isn't it?
And then
he's too good for the Championship and not good enough.
And then he comes to the Prem and goes, like, you know, I'm going to take a sabbatical. I'm just going to take leave because he just disappears.
He does.
They keep him like in a vault, and then they go get him and like, okay, Championship, but when this comes Prem back, you know, they need someone more solid than that. And
I was very surprised to not see Timu Pukki get a move after Norwich.
You know, that's a shout. That's absolutely
because start of last season.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it was a great bit of form for Norwich and for Timu Pukki, but he did win Player of the Month, and he can quite clearly score goals at this level.
Exactly.
But I was very surprised to see him not go, because lots of Premier League teams do need a striker, and he's in a relegated Norwich team. Get him on a 6-month loan.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? But you know, it's just one of them ones. And then we talk about players as well. That's when I think it's back, because we talked about this before. Obviously, with players now, I feel like the abuse they're getting, especially like non-white players, is not great, because their people are legit. I don't know why it's becoming a trend. I don't know how it's becoming a trend. But you know, people are now taking online and thinking it's okay to racially abuse someone. And that's not on. It's not on at all. It doesn't run. And I don't know where it comes from, where it originates. I don't know. I don't know who thinks it is. I don't know what genius it is. But I don't know how clubs can really battle it, to be honest. You know what I mean?
I don't know how they can fix it. Because fans, there's going to be one bad egg in every fan group. Yeah. There will be one racist fan, at least, in every fan group. So how do you weed that racist fan out without causing issues to your players? How do you find out who that is? Ban them from games. Make sure they never see that team or have the chance. But it all happens over social media, doesn't it? And like Jankovic last night after his early red card, he got racially abused after the game.
I don't know why people have to link it back to race, link it back to the performance, link it back to them as a footballer, not just something they can help, not something they can't help. If that makes sense. I think someone from Kick It Out said that, and I think that's quite true.
There's nothing wrong with being upset with your team. Everyone gets upset with their team, like Anthony Martial. Sometimes he doesn't play great.
No.
Like last night, did he score two off the bench?
He scored two. His consistency is one of those ones that you question. But then again, you question his consistency, not the colour of his skin. And it comes back to what happened with that now, with happening all across the Mika Richards documentary. I think it's going to be very hard for clubs to challenge that, because again, they can get the police involved, they can all that, but we all live in this football Twitter type world. It's all burner accounts, you know, people pretending to be someone else. It's hard to track, and especially like, what can you do? Because obviously we live in this COVID world now. I know. You can't be like, wow, you're not banned. You're banned from the stadium. Well, so is everyone technically.
I suppose.
So I don't know what they're going to do about that.
No, there doesn't seem to be any drawback for the racial abuse that people can give players.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to battle it. It's just one of those things we'll have to wait and see, because obviously I feel like every club, even a club like mine, which obviously is called a tourist club, you know, I've been to Man United games and I've seen people from all different walks of life, and I sometimes think, how can this club have people who think it's okay to, you know, put disgusting things on the internet? But it happens to every club, I suppose. You know what I mean? I think people need to realise that, yes, we're dealing with big brands, but it's still the same, isn't it? Yeah,
it really is becoming an issue that we need to fix sooner rather than later, because players can't keep getting racially abused. No. I'm sure Wilfried Zaha, I'm sure he gets it a couple of times a season. He's one of the best players. He's probably Palace's best player.
Yeah, and obviously he puts his players in a difficult conundrum because obviously, we talk about brands. They're their own brands. They need their social media accounts. They need all that if they want to make even more money. And granted, they're making enough money as it is, but obviously players' life is short, so they got to think how they can benefit themselves. So
realistically, a player earns for 10 years at the top of the
at best.
What they earn, exactly.
And then it all goes. So obviously, we need to plan ahead, but that's where social media comes in. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Obviously, if you haven't seen it already, we recommend watching the Mika Richards documentary. I think it's good. I think it's great. Obviously, it's a difficult, challenging issue, and it's a very sensitive topic, but it's just one of those things, just have to learn we have to learn how to educate ourselves and make sure we don't
combating it at a basic level, isn't it?
I mean,
making sure it doesn't make it past the age of 10?
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know how it's going to work out, to be honest, but we'll have to see what happens. But before we wrap it up, there's one more topic I want to talk about.
Go on.
Which is VAR, right? Because I mentioned at the start. For me, VAR, do you remember when, what's his name, Amberat did that thing in the World Cup?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to do it because I want this video to be monetized. But, when I saw that, I was thinking, one in 2018, I was thinking, okay, this is their first almost beta test with it. It'll be fine, they'll get it sorted. But no, I feel like they're still not...
I feel like that's the best use of VAR we've seen, was that World Cup.
Yeah.
Yes, they make some bad decisions, but so does every referee.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is actually the best use of VAR, because in the Premier League, it's not working.
No, but it's so poor. It's ridiculous. I mean, when Leno did that thing, that weird type of punch he did.
Yeah.
They took that to VAR, and I was thinking, did he really need VAR for that? He's clearly done it. The ref saw it, and even Leno's walking off already. He's not standing there like, I'm ready to come back on now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but then you compare it to the early red card we saw with David Luiz.
Yeah.
Again, that's a bit harsh.
It is a harsh red card because as a Sunderland fan, we've had some tough tacklers, let's say, over the years, and I wonder if we were in the Premier League now with that side playing the same football we always have, how many red cards would we get a game?
No,
because some of the challenges that I've seen at Sunderland games have been awful.
Yeah.
But they've got yellow card or get up, you got the ball.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think maybe I think you.
But then it's inconsistency as well. How many of those awful challenges do people still get away with? There's that one on from Alexander Arnold. Yeah. Great player. I mean, we can both agree he's a great player, but defensively he gets shown up sometimes. Yeah. And there's a picture of him, of his studs basically at the shin. I can't remember who it's against. But that didn't even go to check.
No.
Didn't even get checked.
And again, it comes back to that one of the things as well. So I think sometimes they're scared of managers sometimes because the club always is the one to ring the bell when he sees something bad, like ding ding ding, bad VAR, and all that. So obviously they're scared to be like, oh, I don't want to annoy him, you know. So maybe it's that fear in referees as well. But with VAR, I think it's a bit over analytical. I think. Relax.
It's too mathematical.
Yeah,
it's my problem.
Like when I saw that Shea Adams goal, honestly, he showed it to like 90% of people. They're like, "Wow, what a great goal! Fair play."
Yeah.
And obviously they took it to VAR, and then I was just thinking that is just so great for me because we kept the clean sheet.
Is there a top 6 bias in that VAR?
Absolutely.
Because would that have been ruled out? Say it was Southampton versus Brighton. Or Southampton versus Sheffield United.
I think so. It's a difficult one. Maybe not.
Would it have been ruled out? Would it have even been checked?
I mean, we talk about big VAR decisions. We only talk about big VAR decisions when it comes to like big games. I think
we do, yeah.
It doesn't really happen that much, maybe because just because more people are watching it. But I feel like VAR is underused in a game like, for example, Crystal Palace versus Fulham or Fulham versus someone. You know, it's not really used as much as it could do. But it's just one of those things. I mean, I feel like VAR will have to be reviewed again. I feel like against Sheffield United, they came out and said, we should recheck those for VAR. And again, for me personally, I was thinking, why come out and say it? Yeah. You know, just keep it to yourself. Didn't work on it, but I don't know. I don't know how long it takes them to train on VAR, because I think I read somewhere, I think people get trained longer on certain things than VAR, like offside stuff like that. I think VAR is just a simple thing. And obviously the VAR cameras are somewhere.
Well, they're basically in a shipping container in a car park somewhere.
So
the referee sat there.
Yeah, imagine a manager going, right, I'm going to go do this, get some car.
It's not. It takes away from the referee's point in the game as well. Yeah. Because like last night, there was the Jan Bednarek penalty. Yeah. He pointed for the penalty. Well, or the penalty on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
He pointed for the penalty,
Yeah.
and it was. Could you tell really whether it was in the box or out the
No.
box? If the referee points for the penalty and then it goes to VAR, then the referee's got the decision wrong.
Yeah.
And why do we have a referee still?
Yeah.
In that case,
It could just be all done by robots.
yeah, there's no point.
Yeah.
It's just a player. It's just an extra person on the pitch when the person could be sat 100 miles away in a caravan with his computer screen on, making the decisions. But I don't know. It does need to be reviewed in summer, maybe after this season.
True.
I'd say as soon as possible, but
True.
they've changed the VAR rules so much this season already.
I mean, that's what I mean. It's kind of wet tissue paper rules. You can put your whole through it, put your whole hand through it, because it's just people them going, okay, no, this is the new rule. No, we've changed it. No, this is the rule. It's like it's so stupid at this point that I don't even think, gun to your head, if you've got the top referees in, they'll all get it wrong, because even they don't know. They're like, okay, is it this? No, it's okay. I'll leave it then. Can I? No, and they're bumbling idiots then, and then they look stupid. They look unprofessional and disjointed. And VAR's telling one thing, and I think VAR's getting more power than the refs these days. So
it may end up being a massive issue if we see it happen in a game like the Champions League final, let's say, and there's a VAR decision last minute.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the VAR decisions. I mean, remember how Spurs knocked out City when City scored, I think it was a clean goal, and they took it to VAR like 2 seasons ago.
Oh, I think I was at the Etihad. I was there. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can remember the hostility.
It was a very hostile atmosphere. I was in the City end with a Spurs fan and a Man United fan. We were sat in the City end, and Spurs scored 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
And it was.
It was scary.
It was a scary 88 minutes, I'll tell you that.
But is that everything?
Well, it's been nice to talk to you.
Yeah, mate, trust me.
I'm sure this will be the first of many of these.
First of very many. Obviously, this is just the starting set.
Just a starting set. We will eventually get mics and
people on guests.
I'm sure
there's a lot of our friends
who've got a lot better football knowledge than us too.
But this has been Ahmed.
This is Sam Hutchison.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening or watching.
Yeah, see you guys soon.